When starting and growing a business, one of the most important decisions is to choose the right business structure. You may be at a place in your business right now where you're wondering if your current business structure is going to benefit you as you continue to scale and when you think about taxes. Now, the business structure that you select determines the legal and financial responsibilities of the owners as well as the tax implication of the company. Now, the two most common structures are an LLC, which is a limited liability company, and an S corporation. But here's what you may not realize: an S corporation is actually not a business structure, it is your tax implication. You can be an LLC taxed as an S corporation. But we're going to get into all of that. Here's what you have to understand: both have their advantages and disadvantages, and you need to understand them to make an informed business decisions. Now, in this episode, we will discuss the pros and the cons to being an LLC versus an S corporation and vice versa. I want to help you decide which one is right for your business. But first, allow me to introduce myself. I am Octavia, CFO to consultants and entrepreneurs who desire to gain financial clarity and control and operate from a place of financial power so that they reduce business taxes and Say Yes to Profits. I'm also the owner of Say Yes to Profits. Now, Say Yes to Profits is a full service accounting firm that specializes in CFO services. But unlike your traditional accounting firms, we do CFO services like no other. When a client comes into our space, they receive a full team dedicated to their success, dedicated to helping them reduce business taxes and say yes to profits. Now, this full team consists of accounting experts. You receive an operations assistant, a bookkeeper, a tax accountant, and a CFO. Again, all working to help you reduce business taxes and to say yes to profits. If this is the type of service you're looking for, visit sayyestопроfits.com/session and schedule a complimentary discovery session with us today. Now, it is important to carefully weigh the pros and cons of each business structure before making a decision to select one or change to the other. By understanding the difference between an LLC and an S corporation, you can choose which of those best fits your business's needs and overall goals. Therefore, let's jump right into the advantages and disadvantages of an LLC and an S corporation. We're going to start with the advantages of an LLC. One of the main advantages of an LLC is that it offers personal liability protection to its owners. Now, an LLC owner, also known as a member or members, are not personally responsible for the company's debts or liabilities. In other words, if the LLC is sued, the members' personal assets, such as their home, their cars, are not at risk. Now, another advantage to being an LLC is that it offers a lot of flexibility when it comes to taxes. LLCs are not taxed as a separate entity, and the profit and loss passes through to the members on their personal tax return. Now, this means that an LLC avoids double taxation, which is a significant advantage over being a C corporation. Now let's talk about the disadvantages of an LLC. One of the biggest disadvantages of an LLC is that it can be more expensive to set up and maintain than any other business structure in some states. LLCs usually require more paperwork, and they also usually require more fees when setting it up and when maintaining it. In some states like California, you have an $800 annual fee that you have to pay as an LLC as of the date of this video. In other states, it can be even more than that. Another disadvantage to an LLC is that it may not be suitable for raising capital. So if you want investors, an LLC may not be the way to go. Unlike corporations, LLCs cannot issue stock, which makes it harder to attract investors. Lastly, LLCs can have a limited lifespan. You see, in most states, an LLC dissolves if a member dies, retires, or go bankrupt. Now let's shift to the advantages of an S corporation. One of the main advantages of an S corporation is that it offers tax benefits. S corps are not taxed at the corporate level, meaning the profits and or losses pass through to the shareholders' personal tax return. This means that an S corporation avoids double taxation, which is a significant and huge advantage over C corporations. Another advantage is that an S corp can offer their employees tax-free fringe benefits such as health insurance and retirement plans. Lastly, S corporation can raise capital by issuing stock, which makes it easier and it makes it attractive to investors. Now here's the thing. If you become an S Corp as the owner of the company, you have to consider receiving a salary from your business that is reasonable. As an LLC, you don't have to receive a reasonable compensation under a payroll as an employee of the company. As an S corporation, you must be, in most cases, a W-2 employee. And so you want to consider that as well, because if you're unable to receive a reasonable compensation in the IRS eyes from your business, this may not be the time to shift to an S corp. Okay? So I want to make that perfectly clear. Now, the disadvantages of an S corporation. One of the disadvantages of an S corporation is that it has strict eligibility requirements. For example, an S corp can only have up to 100 shareholders, and all shareholders must be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. Another disadvantage is that S corps are subject to more regulations and formalities than LLCs. An S corp honestly is highly scrutinized more than an LLC. An S corp must hold annual meetings. An S corp must keep minutes of those meetings, and an S corp must file an annual report with their state. Lastly, an S corp may be subject to more taxes than an LLC in some states. Here's the thing. Choosing the right business structure is a critical decision that can have a significant impact on your business's success. It is highly important to remember that the decision can be a complex one and require careful consideration. So I highly recommend that you speak with your tax accountant and your CFO when you're thinking about either starting or shifting from either structure. There are several elements to consider when making this decision, including the level of personal liability protection that you desire, your desired tax flexibility, your desire to offer other benefits to your team members, your desire to raise capital, and your overall business goals. You need to include all of these into consideration when you're thinking about being an LLC versus an S corporation. If you have any questions or comments, definitely leave those below. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons right now. And if you really enjoyed this episode, leave us a raving review. Tell us what you think. We want to hear from you, okay? And lastly, if you need a reliable CFO team to support you along your journey, schedule your complimentary discovery session today by going to sayyes2profits.com/session. This is Octavia Connor, your virtual CFO. Until next time, say yes to profits. Toodoo! Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Say Yes to Profits podcast. Download your free gift from this episode by clicking the link in the description. Also connect with me on Instagram at Octavia Connor CFO. And if you would like a glimpse into how we help our consulting clients manifest, maximize, and maintain profitable million-dollar firms, schedule a discovery session today at sayyes2profits.com/session. Until next time, say yes to profits.